On today's video, we are going to be talking about the biggest simp in Tower of God. And no, it is not Bam. It is indeed the one, the only, Hong Dan-hwa, the man who is a fan of Ha Yura, the pop singer who we met back in season 2. Now, Dan-hwa himself is a regular who was chosen to climb the tower. As a result, he was bestowed by one of the seven sacred swords, Krishna. Apparently, he was named after a river that flowed in his village, through his village. We don't really know much about his past other than that, but what we do know is that the sword he used contains the soul of an ancient beast, which, in accordance with the other swords, contains a part of the soul of the beast that was killed. Now, let's talk about him since we saw him in season 2. Ever since he met Hyra on the Hell Train arc of season 2, he's been pretty insistent that he follow her literally everywhere, which he's been doing. He thinks of himself, I think, as a knight in shining armor, uh, a man who loves to look after women. I'm not sure if he loves women themselves. He's not a Sanji, but I think he's someone who just likes pleasing women. So a simp, yeah. Uh, we don't really know why he chose it in particular, but according to my theory, I think it has something to do with her looking like some sort of spitting image of his sister or some former woman he loved. I'm assuming she died, and during some sort of illness, or maybe she was killed. I don't know. And deep down, he blamed himself for her death. And then by chance, she just happened to look identical to Hayura. So once he saw her, he knew he had to follow her to the ends of hell. Really, by hell I mean going up the tower, which I guess is a form of hell. It depends on your outlook, I guess. Yeah, hence why he follows her despite her selfish, self-absorbed attitude. Yeah, I mean, I think most guys would feel, oh, she's not really worth chasing after. You know, I mean, yeah, she looks good, but really deep down, she's not a very good person. She's not as bad as Rachel, let's say, but considering she's following her, she kind of looks up to Rachel. I don't feel as if she's the best person to, yeah, chase after, really. Maybe it's his kind of way of sort of redemption. By protecting Hayura, he's sort of, I don't know, in a way, protecting the memory of the person he lost in the past. Let's move on to his fighting abilities. For a regular, he's pretty good. He's pretty good at fighting. He is a D rank, so on the scale of A to F, he is number 4, really. So he's not too powerful, but because his sacred sword is an ignition weapon, he's able to release powerful waves of orangey yellow Shinsu. And I suppose people who don't really have a lot of skill will definitely get caught up in that Shinsu, you know, attack, and most likely die from it. We don't really know if he has any martial skills. I assume not, because he's just a swordsman. But it's pretty evident that against someone who's of a higher caliber, who has more martial skills than he does, such as Borrow when he fought Borrow in season 2 when they were just boarding the train for the first time. It was evident that Borrow's martial skill level was definitely higher than Dan Hua's sword skill. Therefore, in wielding the blade, he's kind of got a low skill, and he was totally defeated, wasn't he, by Boro, and against his super martial arts style. He was also defeated by Eri Iniesta. If you remember, during the Name Hunt arc, he intervened between Rak and Iniesta's fight, along with Yihua. But unfortunately, Eri Iniesta was able to utterly overpower them, all three of them. So And to be honest, that's pretty much expected. I mean, he is of the Airy family. He's not a direct descendant, Aryan yet, but he still has the Airy swordsmanship, which we all know is unparalleled. It has no equal. Even the commander in chief, Adri Zahad, she was made to learn the Airy swordsmanship, and for good reason. Apparently, it has no blind spots. So against someone who's developed their own style of swordsmanship or a different master's swordsmanship, you wouldn't have a chance. You'd be defeated unless your Shinsu power is above the level of the Eri swordsmanship, and assuming that person does not have any Shinsu, doesn't use Shinsu in general, who's just like a spearman, then yeah, I would assume that would be the case. But yeah, he doesn't really have much of substance, I'd say. He's more of a follower. And not a good follower either. He's following people for the wrong reasons. And I think that partly has something to do with his ability to fight. I mean, he does. I don't think he truly believes the fight he has is just. The fight within him is not truly his own. So yeah, I think he has some way to go in developing himself, uh, skill-wise. I don't think he's mentally prepared for it. I don't. And he's definitely not physically prepared for what's to come if he continues with Bam's group, for example. Uh, I mean, that was evident. I mean, he's currently being held hostage, for God's sake, by the snake guy, Yule, yeah, and the guy who never talks, Kel. But that guy has a cool mask, doesn't he? He's got like this weird robotic mask and robotic armor. I like it. It's pretty cool. But we'll talk about him again later. Yeah, so currently he's a hostage along with Yihua, of all people. I would have thought she'd be able to defeat Kel and Yule. But then again, she was poisoned. If you remember back, I think they mentioned it in season 3. They had a quick flashback of Danhua and Yihua on the floor. And they mentioned something about being poisoned. So yeah, maybe she couldn't have. But then apparently she is supposed to be one of the strongest in her family, or has the most potential, doesn't she? Because she has the special flame of her family. So I would have assumed by now she would have had a greater extent of control over her power and be able to wield it in a way that's, you know, at least able to put high level regulars on the defensive. That's just what I think, anyway. Yeah, so I think here's what's going to happen. They're going to save, well, Bam and his group and allies are going to save Hajin Sung, and then I think they're going to stay with Bam's team. Well, I think he will stay with Bam's team, not they. But yeah, I think he's going to join Bam's team until they run into Rachel and Ura again. And I'm really hoping at that point, um, he's able to come to terms with his simp lifestyle, essentially, and realize, she's not someone worth going after. She isn't someone who should be placed upon that pedestal. She's not the worst either, but she's not someone who should be idolized. I know she's used to it because she's a pop idol, or was, but yeah. And I know she went through her own sort of revolution, so to speak, um, during the Data Jihad arc, and I'm hoping she grew from that as well, and she's able to be the bigger person and just say, "Listen, Danois, you know, um, I know I've been leading you on all this time. Even though you started it, I know I've been leading you on, giving you false hopes, but it's time to let you go. It's time for you to make your own decisions, take your own path in life, and just go with it. If you still want to follow me, that's fine, but if you want to go somewhere else, then do that as well. But I'm just telling you what you should be thinking. Yeah. And hopefully he's mature enough to go, yeah, you know what, I haven't really, I have been simping for you for whatever reason. And he should give her the reason. Why is he following her? He should be telling everyone the reason why he's been following her all this time. Because honestly, it's getting quite annoying. I mean, simps are annoying anyway, but fictional simps are just equally as annoying. And yeah, I hope he just follows his own path and he's able to get stronger, both mentally and physically, and yeah, climb up the ranks really. Go from D rank regular to C rank to B rank to A rank to eventually a ranker. So that's all today, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.